So hello and everybody, I welcome you everyone in my channel, especially in this video. And this video is going to be on IELTS, Academic and General Writing Tasks 2, Advantages and Disadvantages plus Direct Opinion Essay. Let me share the essay that I have recently written on the screen. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Here you go. And this essay comes from IELTS Cambridge book number 10 and test number 4. And this is the test. And the question says here, the essay says, many museums charge for admission while others are free. Do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? Here, the opinion is directly asked, do you think? This is the main point. And the question says many museums they charge while others not. And another question says, do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? And in this essay, you have to plan at first which side to support, either advantages or disadvantages. In this essay, I have supported advantages than disadvantages, and I am going to write on disadvantage of this charging people and two advantages of charging people. Okay, let's go in the introduction. And the first beginning word is generally is a very common, simply or generally a noticeable number of museums charge for entrance. A noticeable number is many museums is paraphrased. A noticeable number of museums charge for entrance, admission, while others are free of cost around the world today. So the first sentence of the question of the introduction is fully question paraphrase, and this is the question paraphrase, and it clearly paraphrases the question or essay or response to the point. And now in the second sentence of the introduction, I'm going to take my clear position. It says, do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? And I said, however, I believe that the benefits of taking some certain money from people for admission to museums outweighs the drawbacks. So the benefits, they outweigh the drawbacks. And I have very clear position or opinion here. Now in the body one of the essay, I'm going to talk about one disadvantage. In body two, I'll be talking about two advantages so that my side will be more heavier. Moving on the body one primary disadvantage of charging people for entrance to museum may discourage people not to visit them very often. So I have a very clear disadvantage. What it says, it may, one primary disadvantage of charging people for entrance to museum may discourage people not to visit them very often. So not to visit them, it may discourage people not to visit them very often. Then how and why, I need to explain. If museums have an obligation for charge for their visiting, the number of people may decrease. They may decrease. The reason is that, I'm going to again explain, the reason is that people generally do not like spending their money on visiting a museum. This is the point. And I'm going to support this point with an inference here. A survey in Nepal states that where museums are free of charge, people visit them more often than the museums that require entry fee. So this is the situation, and it's a reference or it's an inference. As a result, museums out of cost are more popular than those which require a certain amount to visit among Nepalese. So here, those museums which are free of cost, they are more popular than those who require entry fee. So automatically the number of people they decrease. Now I have fully developed, I have clear disadvantage in the introduction, and I have fully developed the disadvantage with my logic, and I have also supported with the inference. Then I have also concluded with the result. So there are four main clear points, main disadvantage, explanation, inference, and result. So coherence and cohesion, it carries higher band score. Now I'm going to contradict from the first body. Nevertheless, in general, there are a couple of advantages for charging people for entry to a museum. So there are a couple of advantages for charging people for entry to a museum. So I am going to add firstly, then I'm going to explain it, then additionally or secondly what is there. Firstly, the raised money can be used in maintenance of the museums, either for building or historical items it possesses. If the museums are maintained frequently, they may look well managed and sustainable. So I have, let's logically explain the point. As a consequence, museums can be the best tourist destinations as they look attractive. So may look attractive and attract a lot of tourists. This is the first point, and it is fully explained, and its result is also given as a consequence, explanation, and its result. In addition to this, now I'm going to add another point. When people pay for entrance, they are preserving the history, arts, culture, and customs of that particular nation. They are preserving. Now I have an example. Take, take China Opera as an example, which leads visitors its distant past because it is well maintained. Meanwhile, it also represents China's historical and cultural significance all over the world. So it is preserved. And I have fully developed the two advantages with logical ideas. And I have also given the example of China Opera, and meanwhile, it also represents China's historical and cultural significance all over the world. Therefore, they are alive. The culture is alive and known. Now, I'm going to wrap up what I said in body one and body two. In conclusion, charging people for museums may cut off in the number of visitors. They may decline the main issue of body one, while it will make a country's history and culture more sustainable and alive. One sustainable, another alive. So I have addressed two main point and one main point of body one. Now I'm going to conclude with my opinion again. Therefore, from my perspective, the advantages of taking some charge from visitors for visiting museum outweigh the disadvantages. Again, I have concluded with the opinion. So the essay has altogether 291 words. This is obviously for band 8 or above. I can't guarantee this is for band 9. So let's analyze this essay on the basis of task response and coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range, and accuracy. So you can just copy this essay as usual and show it to your instructors or IELTS instructor and ask them what band score does this writing get. Therefore, now this is the end, and if you'd like to join or take IELTS training classes after this lockdown, you can contact me here. You can visit me. My detail is here. I am CP Khanal, IELTS trainer at Bali and Birkut International Consultancy, Baghdad, Kathmandu, Nepal. So please, if you like my essay fruitful, my ideas helpful for your IELTS preparation, subscribe my channel, give your valuable feedback, and share these videos among your friends, and don't like to forget. Best of luck, and I will be uploading more and more videos in the days ahead. Have a great time. Take care and bye-bye.